what I'm saying? Yeah. The fanatic. Where we keep it 100, keep it real. That's the only way we know how to be. Talking that sports talk. You know what I'm saying? Straight out of South Carolina. Upstate, A64. Yeah. The FANATTIC. The fanatic where we keep it OG. We talking sports, so I call what.
Welcome into the Fanatic Sports Channel for sports fans by a sports fan. It's your boy, Coach I. All right, man, the season is getting closer and closer. And as a dog fan, listen, man, I'm ready for the Georgia versus Oregon kickoff game, Smart versus Lanning, all that, man. And to talk about the game, man, we brought in a former contributor on the show, Dustin from Sidelines, Oregon. What's going on, man?
Not a whole lot, man. Thanks for having me back.
Hey, man, no problem, man. Of course, we talking Oregon. Like I think we hit each other up right, like at the beginning of the year in January, man. Talking about we was gonna get to do an Oregon Georgia preview this year, man. How you feeling about the game, man?
I'm feeling better. I'm anxious, ready to get it going.
I think everybody is, man. It's like the season now that it's right there. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
yeah,
God, the season can't get here fast enough, and it's like
feels like the longest off season ever.
What you talking about, man? We've had a lot of, like, not Georgia and Oregon, but just college football in general has had a lot of drama, and with the Nick Saban, Jimbo, the USC and UCLA rolling out, announcing they were going to the Big Ten, and Oregon and Washington trying to kind of see where they fit in. Before we jump into the preview, how you feeling about the conference realignment stuff?
It's still all up in the air, so it's kind of hard to say. I hate USC and UCLA's leaving the Pac-12. I think it weakens it a lot. Yeah. So either Pac-12 needs to invite somebody or Oregon's going to have to bounce to stay competitive.
Yeah, USC overall, like all-time football brand is bigger than Oregon, but for the last 10 plus years, Oregon's kind of been holding it down for the Pac-12. So
yeah, I feel like they've been carrying the conference, but like you said, USC's that blue blood brand. So
exactly, man. So we're gonna jump right in this thing, man. Today we're gonna talk about Smart versus Lanning. We'll compare offense to Georgia versus Oregon's defense, and vice versa with Georgia's defense versus Oregon's offense, and then we'll both give our predictions, man, to see how it goes. Today is August the 15th. We're recording this video, so if injuries happen before the videos come out, that might change some predictions, man. So let's get into it, man. Lanning, of course, the new coach at Oregon, Smart's former DC. He's been with Smart for a while now. He was actually like he wasn't a GA at Alabama, but he was like an off-field analyst or something, even when Smart was there at Alabama for a year or two. Then he came over to Georgia and did a really good job, man. How are y'all feeling about Lanning out there, man, in Eugene?
Super excited about him. I mean, I think it's interesting. I say take a chance, but in a way we took a chance with Cristobal. So, yeah, I know everybody says he's young, but he built a very experienced and, to me, a very good staff around him, and obviously they're great recruiters. So
I'm with you, man. I think he fits. I don't know, it's just something about he just fits Oregon, the Nike persona.
Absolutely.
I was talking to another guy about Oregon. He's an Oregon fan. He said Cristobal was just kind of straight, worker, blue collar, get to it, and didn't really embrace the whole Nike culture. I think you guys kind of started the facilities war, and the uniforms, the kids. I think Dan Lanning fits that energy. Like
yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
So of course Dan Lanning is gonna know some things like how Kirby Smart's want to call his defense. He's even gonna know, like, hey, if we come out in 3 tight ends, what we like to do. But I think that goes the same on reverse. Like, Smart knows how Lanning wants to run his defense. Like, just thinking about it, I like what Lanning likes to blitz from the inside. You know what I'm saying? So, like, little things like that. You think there's an edge, or is this kind of like a wash between, like, which coach knows the most about each other?
I think it's a wash because obviously Lanning learned from Smart, and Smart taught Lanning. So it's kind of like competing against themselves in a way.
Yeah.
I do think Lanning may have the edge just because his coordinators are new, and Kirby might not know what they're going to do, especially on offense when Oregon's on offense against Georgia's defense. Now, I expect Kirby to know exactly what he's doing on defense.
I can see that. I can definitely see that because, like you said, we haven't played against those offensive staff members yet. I think where Smart has the advantage is that Smart knows, like, it's not just defensive coaching now that Lanning has to do. He has to be a CEO. And as we can see, with Brent Venables and what's going on with Oklahoma, it's more than just going out there coaching X's and O's. You got to be able to manage your program, all the kind of ins and outs that happen off the field. So that's where I think Smart has the advantage. He's been there, he's done it. And even in Smart's first year, I would tell you, like, those first couple of games, man, Smart did not know how to use those timeouts his first year. It's like this little stuff like that. I'm like, bro, you gotta use those timeouts. Like, you can't take them home with you. So I think Smart will have the advantage there, man. So let's go ahead and get into talking about the offense versus the defense. Georgia's offense, I think it's going to be a good matchup because Georgia's offense brings back a lot of experience, but Oregon's defense brings back Noah Sewell, Justin Flo, and a slew of other people on that defense. Plus, Dan Lanning is a defensive genius, as we've seen over the years. So how you feeling about y'all defense going up against those tight ends we got?
Super excited about our defense. Okay. Against the tight ends, I think our linebackers should be able to – our linebackers are very athletic, very speedy, as well as large. So I think we should be okay against the tight ends.
Okay. I think our tight ends will keep your linebackers occupied. You know what I'm saying? Because Justin Flo obviously is a freak of nature. So if he's getting sent after the quarterback, which Dan Lanning loves to do with his linebackers, I think that, that could create some problems. But if he's sending Justin, then who's covering Brock Bowers or Darnell Washington or Eric Gilbert or whoever? So,
yeah, I figured it'd probably be a nickel safety or Sewell. Or Sewell or Funa, because Jamal Hill's no slouch back there. So
that's fine. How are y'all DBs doing this season? How much do y'all return on in the defensive backfield?
We lost most of them. That's probably our weakest area.
I got you.
But we did get Christian Gonzalez from Colorado, which was the best corners in the Pac-12 last year. So he's going to help. We kept Dante Manning, and then our safeties are back. But, we did lose McKinley Wright. We lost Verone McKinley, and then we lost Mikael Wright. Yeah. And so that's our weakest area, in my opinion. Okay. And then, of course, losing Kayvon.
Kayvon's a huge loss. I think having those linebackers gonna kind of soften that blow. You know what I'm saying? It's like they can help out whoever's replacing Kayvon there. You guys still had a good defensive line last year. I think where we can take advantage of y'all will be on the outside because we return A.D. Mitchell at wide receiver. Lab McConkey, Kyrus Jackson should be healthy. We did take a blow here this past weekend. Somebody we expected to contribute. He hasn't been a major contributor, but Arian Smith is our speedster. He went down with an ankle injury. He's got to have an ankle surgery. So not that we was looking for him being lead receiver or anything, but he's that 10 flat guy. That can take the top off. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it's going to be interesting. At least now on the flip side, you guys got Bo Nix. Mm-hmm. And Bo Nix has some experience with Georgia. We got some experience with Bo Nix. Bo Nix didn't have a great line at Auburn, and you guys return, I want to say, either all five or four of your five. All five of the offensive linemen. Yeah. So how are you feeling now? I don't know if you watched the spring game or been hearing things about fall camp. What's the word about Bo Nix out there?
It looks good. Okay. Of course, they're keeping it tight-lipped, saying that the competition's neck and neck, nothing's changed. All that good stuff.
Coach speak.
Yeah. And I'm excited for Ty Thompson, but from what I've seen, Bo's going to start. They brought him to start. There's no denying that. Yeah. And, he did have his best season at Auburn with Dillingham, so I'm hoping they can revive some of that magic.
Yeah.
But, he's looking good so far. But that's against his error and his own players, so we'll see what happens.
That's a fact, man. Now, where Georgia is lacking experience, got talent, but lacking experience is those middle linebackers. We just had the trio get drafted. We had 8 people from the defense get drafted, but we don't have the Roquan Smith or not the Roquan. I'm sorry, the Kobe Dean or Channing Tindall or Quay Walker. But we got some talent there that should pan out. The good thing for you guys is that it's the first full game that these guys will be playing. Luckily, we do have Jalen. What's Jalen's last name on the front? Jalen. He's our inside guy.
We looked at it earlier too.
Yeah, I can't believe I'm drawing a blank. But Jalen, number 88, Carter. Jesus.
Yeah,
Christ.
there you go.
Jalen in the middle to help us out, to kind of help those linebackers get broken in. Our secondary returns a lot of experience, so there I am kind of confident. Like I said, if I had to pick a weakness, I would say it's our inside linebackers because of the inexperience. On your offense, where do you see like possible problems?
Man, it's hard to say because the receivers are young, but they're our best recruited receivers we've ever had.
Okay.
And then same for the running backs. So I guess we'd have to leave it there at the QB. It's all going to depend on what Bo does.
Well, I definitely I think Bo has talent, but Bo gets into a situation. He feels like he has to win the game by himself. Like he used to do that a lot at Auburn. I get that he didn't have a great offensive line this past year. Year before he had a decent offensive line. He gets in those situations where sometimes you got to take a sack, and he doesn't want to take a sack.
Right.
That's the kind of thing. And then, of course, Dan Lanning, my experience is that defensive coordinators turn head coaches their first year to 2. They can't stay out of the offense's way. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, let Kyle Dillingham do what he does and not have your fingers into it too much. So how do you think that's going to go, the dynamic between them two?
Well, being that they've coached together before, I'm hoping Dan will trust Kenny to just do his system and maybe have a little input, but I really hope he doesn't handcuff him like Cristobal handcuffed his OCs.
Yeah, Cristobal, that's the thing. Cristobal's kind of a run first, play defense, and that's what run. Yeah, and Kirby was like that his first couple years at Georgia. I mean, Will Muschamp was the same way in Florida and South Carolina. It's like that's the tendencies, but maybe because Dan Lanning's got to see that up close with Kirby and how he eventually started letting Todd Monken carry over and do his own thing, then he won't make those same mistakes. So it's going to be an interesting game, man. Listen, right now, I don't like it because it's bulletin board material, but we're 17-point favorites. I don't like to be double like that big of a favorite, especially like what a team that's trying to prepare for you off season. We already saw you guys went to Columbus last year without Kayvon and still beat Ohio State. So traveling far is not a problem for Oregon.
No. And I don't think it's going to be 17 points. Y'all lost too much. Now, last year I could see it, but just too much turnover in my opinion.
Well, see, I think this year, until our defense gets the experience it needs to have, our offense is going to carry. Our offense is like last year, our offense was very efficient, and it did what it needed to do when our defense put us in scoring position or whatever. But this year, our offense, we got, unless there's a barrage of injuries, there's way too many offensive weapons. I think that's going to be, I ain't going to say it's going to be the issue, but that's going to be a task for Todd Monken trying to figure out how to use all of the weapons because, of course, the talk in the offseason has been our tight ends. But we got a lot of wide receivers. Dominic Blaylock, who missed last year due to injury for the most part, he's coming back. Stetson Bennett's been there, seems like forever. I mean, but he's looking confident. He's done it before, so I think that helps. And then I think our running backs will finally, no knock on. I love James Cook and Zamir White, but they wasn't the DeAndre Swifts and Sony Michel's and that right there. I'm not saying that Kenny McIntosh and Milton are, but I think you'll see the more explosive plays from the running back that we're used to from Georgia. So on to the predictions, man. So tell me how you think the game will go, and then give me a score.
I think the first half's going to be a lot of filling each other out, and then I think it'll up a little bit in the second half, but we're talking about both defensive-minded coaches
Yeah.
with still going to be good defenses on both sides.
Yeah.
Of course, I'm going to be a homer. I want to say Oregon pulls it out like 21-17, 24-21, something like that.
Okay, I can see that. I think that was a good call on the opening up, trying to feel each other. I think that's exactly what happened in the Clemson game last year. It's like people was like, "Oh, yeah, didn't score a lot against Clemson." First of all, Clemson was healthy against us, but not for the rest of the season.
Yep.
But both quarterbacks was like almost like, well, DJ was running for his life, and JT was trying not to make a mistake. Kirby was trying to fill out Clemson. Dabo was trying to fill out Georgia. It's like, and then you end up with a 10-3 game. I don't think this game's going to be 10-3 by no means. Listen, our defense is going to take a step back naturally because we lost so many to the NFL. But I mean, when you have a defense holding people to 10 points, there's only naturally that you start giving up more points. I think we'll give up about 17 in this game, but I think we end up winning 31-17.
Okay.
Just because of the offense. I don't know if we cover that 17. 17 is a lot.
That's a lot.
That's a lot for, like, if we was playing y'all second game of the season where y'all didn't have all off season to prepare, but 17 is a lot. That's a lot of points.
Especially in the opener.
That's what I'm saying. In an opener, like you said, because we return a lot on offense, but that defense, there could be some missteps, misreads. We didn't have to worry about that with our returning linebackers last year. We got a lot of athletes, but that middle of the field, man, that could be real crucial, especially if you guys utilize the tight end. So I'm going.
And a lot of times you don't know what you got until they're out there performing under the light.
Right. That's right. What you doing for the game, man? You having a house, big tailgate at the house? You going to a bar? Some friends?
Man, I wanted to go to the game. I'm so disappointed I'm not going, but I had family coming. So, yeah, we're just going to have a big party here. So
I got you. I will be downtown, down near the Mercedes-Benz tailgating. That's right. I'll be out there tailgating. I won't go into the game. Listen, I like going to games, but I prefer not to so I can watch all the other games too.
Yeah.
It's like I don't like missing all the games, but I will be tailgating out the Benz, and hopefully it'll be a good one, man. Like I say, I'm ready for college football, man. So I appreciate you coming on the show, man, and giving us what you think going to happen with Oregon. How do you see the season playing out for Oregon, win or lose after this game?
Like we were talking about earlier, man, it's so unpredictable. But our schedule's pretty good, so I think if we can keep it close with y'all, we'll have a chance to at least get to the Pac-12 championship game again and probably play Utah again. And then hopefully win it this year.
Look, without even telling you or talking to you prehand, I got the same thing. I think Oregon, I know it's a lot of hype around USC, but again, you got to come in there, and they don't really have – their defense was terrible last year, and I know they replaced a lot, I mean, like transfer portal-wise, but It's still going to take a while. I think it's going to take a season, and I think you guys can can get over them, and I think – Utah's my favorite to win the Pac-12, but I got them beating you guys in the Pac-12 again. And listen, I told you last year, I picked y'all to win in the Pac-12 twice championship last year. And I was like, there's no way they beating y'all twice, and they did.
Especially that bad, man.
Like both, that's what I'm saying. Like after you lose bad the first time, it's like, okay, Oregon's too good to lose like that twice. And then they did it again. I'm like, it's something about Utah that just is a bad matchup for Oregon, but maybe
it really is.
Yeah,
man, Willingham is a great coach too. Not to root for another team, but man, you got to respect Willingham. So
yeah, man, he's listen. I'm picking them to beat Florida in the first week. Close game, but I'm picking them to win at Florida. It's gonna be a tough fought victory, but I think they pull it out. If Utah doesn't do it this year to get to the playoffs, I don't know when they will. So.
I don't think so because they'll start losing some of the players, like you said. They brought so many back this year, and then USC is inevitable to rise. I think it's a year or two because they didn't address any of their defensive or offensive line issues. They just went skilled players. Yeah. So, I mean, they'll be one of the fastest out there. I just don't know if they'll have time to get on the ball.
Yeah. I mean, it's Lincoln Riley. He'll put up some points, but like you said, I don't think their defense will be enough to contend with a Utah or Oregon and get to the Pac-12 championship. I can see them. I looked at the schedule. I can see them going like 9-3.
Yeah,
something
I
like
think
that.
that's what I got them 9-3, 8-4, depending on what UCLA does, because they could be a shocker this year. So.
Hey, listen, man. I've been waiting for Chip Kelly to be the old Chip Kelly, but I guess that's me, remembering the Duck days. But it's just it hasn't turned into that. But they do return Dorian, Thompson, Robinson. So hopefully, I mean, it'd be nice if UCLA, Oregon, Utah, and USC are all good, and then the Pac-12 would get a little bit more love, because what we know from the college football playoffs committee is they don't have a lot of respect for the Pac-12. So
not at all.
I think, playing Georgia close, like you said, or possibly pulling the upset, and then, USC doing some stuff, Utah beating Florida, that could maybe change some perceptions down the line and possibly help whoever wins the Pac-12, one loss or undefeated, get into the playoffs. So.
Yep.
All right, man. So. Dustin, tell the people where they can find you at, man, and what you do for the Sideline Oregon.
You can check me out at Sidelines Oregon or at Sidelines Pac-12 on Twitter. And I think we're going to start a podcast, a few of us. So we'll release those details whenever that happens. And then that's it, man.
That's right, man. Hey, be on the lookout for that podcast on the Sidelines Oregon, man. That'll be good, man. Like I say, from what I can see, my year in doing this, I've only come across two good Oregon fans in this, like as far as podcasting is concerned, and that's you and Sports Chat 503. So Ryan Winter. So that'll be good, man. So just let us know, man, and tag us, and we'll put it out there, man. For Dustin at Sidelines Oregon, this is Coach I, the Fan Addict. Georgia Bulldogs, Oregon Ducks, September 3rd. Look forward to it.
We got it jumping like it's that valley. I call my dogs out the pound, let's go eat. Turn on the Fan Addict, let's have a debate. Who really hold down the Southeast from state to state? What team hungry gonna eat everything up off their plate?